With YouTube attacking alternative media, please consider supporting the channel via Patreon for just $1 per month. Link below. They say cocaine is a hell of a drug, right? I mean, all drugs are kind of a hell of a drug, especially heroin, because it can make you do some crazy stuff, like this particular tale here. And this is definitely a cautionary tale for why you want to make sure people you know aren't knee deep in the hoopla when it comes to the heroin, chasing that dragon, so to speak. So a 20-year-old woman who is on drugs, gouged out her own eyes, is now blind. So a 20-year-old high on the H, riding that train, chasing that dragon, gouged out her own eyes, and she's now blind. And that's tragic. It is. The family of a South Carolina woman who gouged out her own eyeballs in a drug-induced haze wants to warn others about the dangers of addiction. I guess, to be fair, that is one of those moments where you look at like the aftermath of a horrible situation and you realize that people out there want to keep this from happening to somebody else. So they want to use their tragedy to kind of elevate awareness of the situation. And that's a good thing. That is a really good thing here. So Kaylee Muthart, 20 years old, was left permanently blinded after she intentionally scratched out her own eyes and was seen holding an eyeball February 6th in front of the Anderson Church. Now, I did hear about this. I didn't quite know what it was at first. I just saw the headline, woman scratches out own eyeball, holds it in her hand. I saw that floating around, and I'm just like, I'm not going to touch this one. Now, the young woman who doctors believe was high on tainted methamphetamine. Reportedly, she was high on meth. I thought this thing said heroin. Okay, well, damn. She's on meth. That's even worse. Reportedly started fighting off Good Samaritans trying to help her. Now, tainted methamphetamine. If you've ever seen like Drug Inc. or there's lots of stories you hear about all the time about like a portable meth lab in a person's backpack found in a Walmart bathroom. And it's part of the method that's called shake and bake, where you just shake it, shake it, shake it, shake it, shake it, shake it, shake it. Yeah, I know what it looks like. But that's what you do. You keep shaking it. You don't stop shaking it for like a solid 30 minutes. And it creates enough meth for a couple $100. But it's highly volatile. And if you screw up, you can blow off your hand. I mean, people make meth in the weirdest of locations. I know Breaking Bad kind of glorified the meth trade, but in reality, it is a horrible, debilitating drug that makes you clean like you've never cleaned before. Now, the young woman who doctors experiencing delusions, she believed that the world was upside down and she needed to sacrifice her own eyes to go to heaven. So I kind of wonder, was she watching Stranger Things on Netflix before this? Was she envisioning the upside down and then also maybe watch the Slender Man documentary that was on HBO? No, that's horrible. That's horrible. I mean, like there's no joke that can, really can be made here. You've got a woman who had taken bad drugs and it messed with her mind so much to where she pulled out her own eyeballs. Because that's how she thought she could get to heaven. I mean, maybe in like the ye olden times, like some old, like hardcore Old Testament shit, you could maybe have seen this happen. But we're in modern age. You don't got to do that anymore. Now, emergency responders were eventually able to render aid and fly her to Greenville Memorial Hospital, where she remains in recovery. I'm glad that they were able to get her quickly. Her mom, Katie Tompkins, said that she arrived at the hospital to find out that her daughter was now blind, saying there was a struggle. I can't even explain that feeling when I found out. It was horrifying, complete terror. I was thankful she was alive, but I knew something was wrong with her. Well, if you go to the hospital to find your child and the doctors tell you, so she was high on the meth and she pulled out her own eyes, you're going to go, yeah, there's something clearly wrong with her. Now, the 20-year-old, however, will have to get prosthetics in order to maintain her facial structure, according to doctors, which is good. It's good that they'll put in glass eyes. That's just, I mean, that's just a thing. That's horrible. It's 'cause I'm thinking like the more I envision it, it's going to be like one of those horror movies where she like takes off the glasses and it's just like sunken sockets of nothing. Or like the glass eyes fall out or something and it's just like a horror movie, especially like the older she gets. She's only 20. She's only 20 and she's got her whole life ahead of her and she'll never see again. That's pretty bad. Like, it's sad. It's sad that drugs cause this. Now Tompkins says that her doctor or her daughter's story is a cautionary tale, saying this is something you never think is going to happen to you, but it did. A lot of mothers I have talked to have kids that have been addicted to heroin for 10, 15 years. And I'm like, how did you get through it? My daughter was only doing it for 6 months. It literally tore me up. And that's the story. This is Kaylee Muthart. This is her right here. You know, and cute 20-year-old girl lost her vision because of tainted meth. Meth she'd only been doing for 6 months. I mean, you hear stories all the time, you know, like meth is this super addictive, easily made, easily sold, just destructive thing. And, you know, you don't really ever kind of put a face to it, I think, unless you know someone personally. Like, I think most of us know people personally. Like I've known people that were like a janitorial crew, and they would smoke meth to get amped up to go and then clean. And then when they were done with their shift, they'd smoke pot to kind of calm down. Surprisingly, that worked. And I mean, for years, that has worked. So I guess in moderation, it can work out. But whatever she got was some seriously tainted stuff, especially if she started having those kind of visions. Because people who are on meth, you know, they'll generally start to lose their mind after a while, you know, but more importantly, they start losing their teeth first. And then it goes kind of crazy, but she got something bad. So, at the end of the day, it is a cautionary tale. I hope that when people pay attention to this, they realize that this is something that, you know, is not good for anyone, and that bad shit can happen if you take tainted meth. I don't know what else to say to the situation other than I wish her the best of luck. It's a long road to recovery. Her life will never be the same, but I hope this is the wake-up call that she needs in order to, and this is going to be a horrible, horrible pun, but see the light.